Dear students, a topic of today's lecture of discipline Standardization of Medicines is the system of standardization of medicines, analytical documentation for pharmaceutical products, analytical normative document, monograph, speaker, Doctor of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Professor Wilczynska Elena. Content: the concept of standardization of medicines and its tasks. Legislation, government policy and regulation. Pharmacopoeia of Ukraine, standards of good practice. Practically directing educational objectives of the lecture is to study the concept of standardization of medicines and its tasks, legislation, government policy and regulation, place of Pharmacopoeia of Ukraine, standards of good practice in the system of standardization of medicines in Ukraine, which are used in the practical medicine and pharmacy. Test. What is the name of the level of medicines standardization which is carried out at the level of one country? The correct answer is C, national. Standardization is an activity consisting in the establishment of provision for the universal and repeated use of existing tasks, aimed at achieving the optimal degree of order in the area. Objectives of standardization: ensuring the compliance of standardization objects with their functional purpose, ensuring sustainable production, application of recognized rules and procedures, management of diversity, compatibly, interchangeably of standardization objectives, ensuring the protection of life and health. State policy: ensuring the participation of individuals and legal persons in the development of national standards. Openness and transparency of procedures for the development and adoption of national standards. Adoption of national standards by consensus. Voluntary application of national standards. Compliance of national standards with legislation. Compliance with international and regional rules and procedures of standardization. Objects of standardization: materials, equipment, systems, rules, procedures, functions, methods, requirements for terminology, packaging, labeling, other. Subjects of standardization: central executive organization that ensures the formation of state policy in the field of standardization. Central executive organization that implements state policy in the field of standardization. National Organization of Standardization. Technical committees of standardization. Enterprises, organizations. Levels of standardization: international, regional, interstate, national. International Standardization Organization is organization that deals with standardization, its work with all states. Quality Management Systems, ISO, describes standards. System of constant software of quality drugs during their development, production, and control, good manufacturing practice, pharmaceutical quality system, a system that provides the management of pharmaceutical company in area of quality described in the document Pharmaceutical Quality System. Quality is a set of characteristics of the object concerning its ability to meet the needs of established and predictable. There are many world organizations of standardization. For example, Food and Drug Administration in the United States of America, the European Agency of Medicines, European Committee of Standardization, European Association of Free Trade. The main organization of standardization in Ukraine is Committee for Standardization, Metrology and Certification. Standardization of medicines is activity that consists in establishing rules for general and repeated use with the aim of creating, producing quality control, registration and trade of medicines, which has body a state control quality of medicines, which is controlled by the state. Objects of standardization in the field of medicines are medicines and activities related to them, organization of production control and quality control of medicines, the process of providing medicines at the state and regional levels, manufacture of medicines, information for consumers, rational use of medicines. You can see steps of standardization of medicines, pharmaceutical development, preclinical studies, clinical studies, production, storage, wholesale, retail sale, consumer. Medicines are substances or mixture of natural, synthetic or biotechnological substances which are used to prevent pregnancy, prevention, diagnosis and treatment of human diseases or changes in the status and functions. Medical drugs are active agents, finished medicinal products, homeopathic agents, cosmetic products, medicinal supplements to food, other. Finished medicinal products, dosage pharmaceuticals, active agents or substances, biologically active substances that may change the status and functions of the organism, excipients, additional substances. Technological regulations are regulatory documents which are specifying technological methods, technical means, norms, and standards for drug manufacturing. Technological normative document is document with requirements to processes, methods, rules and regulations, complex manufacturing equipment and facilities, conditions and procedure of preparation of finished products according to requirements of analytical normative document. Pharmacopoeia article, normative and technical document establishing the requirements for a medicinal product, its packaging, conditions, shelf life, quality control methods. analytical normative documents, methods of quality control. Quality of the product, a set of properties that provide medicines capable to satisfy consumers according to their purpose and meet the requirements established by law. First Pharmacopoeia was published in 1498 in Florence. It called Recitario Fiorentino. State Pharmacopoeia of Ukraine is a legal act that contains general requirements for medicines, monographs, methods of quality control of medicines. State Pharmacopoeia of Ukraine is the constitution of medicine's quality. You can see priorities of different pharmacopoeias in Ukraine. Good practice standards are requirements for healthcare organizations at the stages of development, research, production, and sale of medicines. Good laboratory practice is a complex of rules for planning, implementation, monitoring, evaluation, and documentation of laboratory tests that are part of preclinical studies and clinical trials. You can see good laboratory practice principles. Preclinical studies of medicines is a program the result of which is to guarantee the maximum safety of medication use in clinical trials. Pharmacological preclinical studies. Determination of therapeutic efficacy, possible side effects, toxicological preclinical studies, determination of toxicity, the nature of the harmful effect on the organism of experimental animals. Good clinical practice is a set of rules of planning, implementation, evaluation, and documentation of clinical trials. Good manufacturing practice is a set of organizational and technical measures that are parts of the quality assurance system and ensures that products are consistently manufactured and controlled quality standards that meet its purpose and in accordance with the registration dossier. What is the role of the State Pharmacopoeia of Ukraine? The correct answer is D, is a constitution of quality of medicines. The questions which we consider today are concept of standardization of medicines and its tasks, legislation, government policy and regulation, Pharmacopoeia of Ukraine, standards of good practice which are used in medical practice and pharmacy. Recommended literature for your attention. Thank you for your attention.